All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a brand new bow in front of me. This is the DARTON TriTech 31. This is one of the bows that I pushed to get in the shop this year because I was thoroughly impressed with the Sequel ST2. If you guys have been followers of the channel or you watch the channel, I did an entire bow build on a Darton Sequel 33 earlier this year and absolutely love that bow. Been shooting it. It's the bow that I'm taking whitetail hunting right now. It's just been a pleasure to shoot. So you guys have not seen that video, you can go back in the Rolodex and check it out, and subscribe to the channel because we're gonna be putting out a lot more videos like that, especially these bow reviews, because it is bow review season. All the companies are dropping their new stuff. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button down in the bottom, hit the like button, and drop a comment and let me know which bows you guys want to review. This one is the DARTON TriTech 31. We're also going to be doing reviews on the 33 and the 35 as they come in. This was just the first one to come in the shop yesterday, right before we closed. We've had a lot of comments about getting these into the shop because they have become so popular in recent years. Bow has a lot of features in it for what it is and what it costs. The retail on all of the TriTechs, whether it's a 31, 33, or 35, is going to be $1349. So it doesn't matter which one you get, it's going to be the same price. But again, a lot of good features packed into these bows, definitely worth the value. So some of the new features, this is an entirely new riser than they had in the Sequel line last year. I wouldn't say it's a complete redesign, but it is definitely a redesign. It's not like they just copied and pasted and moved it over. Kind of the same thing with the cam. The cam is very similar, but it does have insane amount of adjustability on the cam for whether it's let off or your draw lengths. It comes in draw lengths, we'll go over that, but I think it's 25 to 30 and a half, and every one of those is quarter length adjustments. This has letter markings from A to W. So you could get lost on this cam making sure everything's back in the right draw stop. I would highly encourage that you make sure everything is back, double and triple check. Because that's always a bad feeling when it's not and you draw it back. Let's just go over some basic features, again, that Darton has packed into this bow. Some of the stuff they were missing last year. Picatinny rail mount on the front. This was my biggest beef with Darton last year, was not having a Picatinny mount rail on the front of their bow. It is 2025 going into 2026. I think if you were a flagship bow or you were a company that wants to offer top quality stuff and have the accessories for it, this is pretty much a mandatory at this point if you don't have a Picatinny rail on the front. It's not incredibly hard to add, especially from a machined riser standpoint, and this one's bolted right to the front. So if you didn't want this and you wanted to run a side mount, they still have the holes on the side of the riser, and you can take that off and save yourself a little bit of weight if that's what you wanted to do, but it's made out of machined aluminum. It's probably not gonna weigh that much. They have the integrated rest in the back, so you can run all of your QADs, and whatever else comes out in integrated stuff. Grip is very similar on this, but now instead of it being a solid machined piece of aluminum on the riser, they have, I can't remember what they call this, it's like nanotech or sanoprene. So they have the sanoprene grip in the back here. It has the same feel as the Darton Sequel does. It has a very flat back, a slightly radiused edge, but it does have a distinct line where you get your hand on it. I like the groove in the front where I can put my fingers right in the front of the riser here and know that I'm not pulling on one side or the other and torquing. I don't add a lot of front pressure, but this is just a nice little texture piece to put your hands on, your fingers on, to know that you're in the right spot. I was a big fan of this grip. So the grip hasn't changed, but they have added this sanoprene grip on here. It comes in a couple different degrees. Neutral, which is what is installed on the bow, you can get it at 2.5 and 5 degree. And they also have holes mounted on the side. So for your aftermarket grips, you can toss some aftermarket grips in there. It looks like they have taken out a little bit of weight and drilled some speed holes into the grip. Don't know how much that's helping, but it definitely helps probably a little bit. While we stay here focused in the center of the bow, they have an adjustable roller guard now. So now you can adjust your roller guard by moving it left and right, which is going to pull the cables further away from the center line of the bow or pull them into the center line of the bow, and that is going to effectively change your cam lean a little bit to get your bow to tune out. That is a feature that I have used on my Elites with the LTR and have found it to be very successful to get fletching clearance if I need it, if I'm running some tall fletchings, but B, to help get the cam lean achieved that I want to achieve without having to maximize all the other tuning features. So it's kind of a little give and take from here and then up in the limbs you can do something different, or in the shims you can do something different. But everything kind of plays off each other. It is definitely something that I have used, and I'll be excited to use tuning up these bows this year to use this roller guard to effectively get or take out the cam lean I do or don't want, to get the bow to tune the way I want it to. Perfect tune limb pocket adjustment. This is what I actually used last year to tune my bow. There is a little bolt right here, and on both sides of the limb there are openings where you can put that. Now, by screwing that bolt in, what you're doing is you're adding a little bit of head pressure to the tip of the limb, which is changing the spring rate of the limb. By doing that, you can add or remove spring rate to help get or help your paper tear, whether it's left or right. Now you can do that both top and bottom. This one was the way that it is shipped to us, so it has the little screw in one side and not in the other. Darton has added some 3D printed pieces this year, or some plastic pieces that you can get that screw into here, and it makes it match. It makes it look the same, and it also is going to keep dirt and debris out of that hole. So if you ever needed to swap these around, if you changed arrow setups or you pass this bow on to somebody else and you wanted to retune it, you could get it in there and you wouldn't have to worry about years of dust and debris and gunk collecting up in there. They still have the micro adjust tuning feature with the split yoke. So now you can adjust your timing on the bow with the yoke system. This was something I used, the first one I played with last year was this one on the Darton sequel. Was very happy with it. Thought it was maybe a little bit bulky, and it was missing a couple features, which they have since added. They have definitely shaved the weight down a little bit, so they have made this block a little bit smaller. But now they have also added laser etched hash marks on the turnbuckle top screw itself. So now when you make these adjustments, you can see exactly how far you are going. Speed is going to be between 334, 335, and that is based on the modules that they send it with. This is just the standard mod that comes on these Dartons. They also include, as part of their kit, a separate set of speed mods. So if you wanted to get the speed mod, or you wanted something maybe a little bit more aggressive, you don't have to go purchase that. It comes with the bow, and it also comes with another set of let off draw stop adjustments that a change on the post on the cam here. So you can change that. Let off is going to be 83 and 75%. With the speed mod, you can get from 339 to 341 feet per second. And then they also offer a third mod, which is a just 75% let off mod. That one is 341 to 343. Axle to axle on this bow is going to be 31 and 3/16. The TriTech 31 implies that it is a 31-inch axle to axle, but Darton states to their website 31 3/16. We'll go ahead and measure that. Brace height is 6 3/8 inches. The mass weight on this bow is 4.5 pounds without this little dampener here on the bottom. We will weigh it with and without the dampener to see how much it really does change the weight of the bow. All right, mass weight on this bow from Darton says it is 4.5 pounds without the little dampener here on the bottom. We're gonna measure it with the dampener, and then again without. The only thing this bow has on it is a D-loop right now. So 4.64 pounds, not bad. It is a 1/10.5 over what they claim. Take the little dampener off, reset the scale. Right on the money. 4.52 pounds. Exactly what they claim it to be. I like to see that. It comes in draw lengths from 25 to 30.5 inches. So it is very adjustable, and it comes in 1/4 inch draw length adjustments. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but there is a lot of positions on this cam to get lost in. It goes from A all the way to W. Pay attention if you're making these adjustments, whether you're at your house or you're a shop. Make sure you have everything in the right spots, because it would be very easy to get lost on this cam. Now everything is laser etched on here, and it does make it very easy to know which hole that you are in. I just know from personal experience, if you're not paying attention, you can put some stuff in the wrong spot. Draw weight is going to come in 50. Peak weights of 50, 60, 70, and 80 pounds, so you can get this bow from 40 to 50 all the way up to 70 to 80 and kind of fit the range that you're looking for. Made in the USA, made in Michigan. Very excited about this bow and to see how this thing shoots. Again, I shot that Sequel ST2, currently shooting it. Absolutely love that bow. Think it's a really good one. So I'm really interested to see how these Dartons compare to that. Oh, comes in 7 color options. 4 flat colors like this. This is the OD green. It comes in flat dark earth. It comes in black, and it comes in, there's another color, stone gray. It also comes in 3 color camo options. Bottomlands has been a wildly popular bow for color. And then it also comes in 2 different First Light. It comes in the First Light regular and First Light Fusion camo, I believe. So 7 different color options on this bow. This is the OD green. Okay. Start the videos. We're gonna do a weight on this bow here. 0 on the scale. Set at 30 inches. 83% let off. 69.7. Let's do one more time. 70.3. So we'll call it 70. We were 3 over, 3 under, so the average is averages. All right, so the 83% let off I like. Draw cycle, pretty smooth. And when it dumps over into the cam, it eases up right before it hits that valley, which is nice because you can kind of ease into this thing right here. It kind of lets off. It's still firm on the back wall. It doesn't have a huge valley, but it is a little bit reactive. So you have a little bit of give on that back wall, and it doesn't want to just yank you forward immediately right away. It doesn't dump immediately into the cam, which is nice. You can kind of feel it coming before it yanks you forward, which that's kind of why I like running the lower let off. I don't know, and it tends to be more accurate. So draw cycle on this, good. On the shot, good. It's got a tiny bit of vibration to it. Nothing that is alarming, nothing that jumps out at me. Just kind of has that little bit of, I don't know, like a little bit of aftershock. Again, not something I really notice or care about. It's not something that takes away from the bow. Let's get some speeds. We're gonna use pretty much the same arrows that we're gonna use for the rest of the year. We have 3 different weights. I have a true 350 grain arrow. We have 3 of those, so we're gonna shoot 3 of those. I have 440 grains and 540 grains. I feel like the 350, we can get a judge on the validity of the speed of the bow, and with the 400, that's gonna be more of your average bow hunting weight. And then you have your 550, 545, 551. That is gonna be for you heavy arrow guys. We're gonna do all of this in 30, 70 pounds. Then I'm gonna drop it down to 28 pounds, and 28 inches, and we're gonna 70 pounds, and we're gonna do the whole thing over again. So let's rip through these arrows. Let's hopefully we can get it all in one take. The first set, 350 grain, 70 pounds, 30 inches. 334 is what we'd like to see. Anything really 330 would be phenomenal. This is the DARTON TriTech 31. .324. Second arrow. .322. Third arrow. .322 and a half. So 322, 323. That's about 10 feet per second off than the advertised speed of it, but still, it's pretty good. We're gonna jump right up to 440 grains. The more I've shot this bow, I shot this bow yesterday when it came in, so I did have a couple arrows in it before we did this whole test. But I'm not a huge fan of grips on bows. I like to either shoot it off the bare riser, or depending on the situation, I will add a little bit of Bomar tape to it. This isn't too bad. I'd be curious to see how this wears in. It still has the same feel as that sequel that I have, but now it has a little bit of the rubber on the back, the neoprene, the sanoprene. So hopefully maybe in the winter, when you're going to grab this thing, it's not as chilly up against your hand. But 440 grains, 70 inches, 30 inches, 70 pounds. I need to go get some coffee this morning. 291. Not terrible. Still moving pretty quick for a hunting arrow. 70 pounds. Yeah. This damn tag keeps getting hung up. Low battery. Run this one more time. We got a low battery warning on the Garmin here. Run it one more. Let's see. 290. So 290.8, 291. We'll call that for our 440 grain arrow, and then our 545, our heavier arrow. Let's see where this one comes in. 263.9, so 264. Not shabby for a light arrow or for a heavy-ish arrow. Let's move this thing around, drop it down to 28 inches. We're gonna charge a Garmin in a couple minutes, and then we'll go ahead and shoot all 6 of those arrows again, see what we come out as, and then we'll do a final review of this thing and let you guys know if I think this is a bow that you should be buying in 2026. All right, 28 inches, 70 pounds, 350 grain arrow. See what kind of speeds we're pushing. We shot 324 at 30 inches. Way shorter. 303. Not too bad. 304, 303. 310, I hugged that one a little tighter to the chrono than I kind of wanted to. So let's try. .303 again, so we'll call it 303. We probably had a flyer with that one. This one's gonna be 440, 28 inches, 70 pounds. I think we were in the 290s at 30. Stacking arrows down there. 373.9. $374.5. So 374, and then 554 grain. Big boy, bigger boy. $248, so not too shabby. 250 is about what we've seen out of other bows. Similar, 70 pounds, 28 inches. The DARTON TriTech 31, very thoroughly impressed with this bow from DARTON. Coming in at a decent mid-range price point of $1349 for any one of their TriTechs, whether it's a 31 all the way up to the 35. Comes in right at 4.5 pounds, so not overly heavy, not the lightest bow in the market. Kind of a little bit of give and take with some of the features that they have. I think the weight is justified with some of the tuning features that they have packed into this bow. Overall, a very stable, solid shooting platform. It does have the split yoke system where it is going to pull evenly, or the split cable system where it's going to pull evenly across the axle. Take a lot of that cam lean out of it. You do have the micro adjust with your tuning system with the adjustable splitters here, and now that that has lost a little bit of weight and it is laser etched, it's going to be much easier to follow. You have 1/4 inch adjustments on the cams now, so if someone like myself, I don't quite shoot a 30 and I don't quite shoot 20.5. Usually I would make all that up with the cable or the main string to kind of just get the bow to hit where I want it to. But now I can make that 1/4 inch adjustment. Very excited about that. They have finally added a Picatinny mount in the front. They are up to date with all the mounting sight options for 2025 and 2026 going forward. I think if you don't have one of these in your flagship bow brand, you're missing out. Everyone is just going to this with new, tighter fitting quivers and everything else. We're trying to get smaller packages. So adding that pick mount, huge improvement by them. Slight redesign on the riser. They added the Santoprene grip on the back, so it does now have that little bit of texture to it. Almost feels like Bomar grip tape. It doesn't have a squish to it. I can't really push it in, but it does have a little bit of tackiness to it, so it is gonna hold your hand pretty good, especially down here. North Carolina, it gets hot and humid in the summer. That is something I've always run, usually in the summer, is a little bit of grip tape on the bow, just to keep a little tack in it. We have the perfect tuning system in the limb pocket still. Very good. Used that last year to tune my bow. Like the way the system works, and now they are offering some 3D printed plugs you can put in here to keep all your dirt and debris out. A couple new features. They do have a bow stand. I'll put an overlay of that somewhere in this video, or you might have already seen it. So they're going to have a stand now, so when you put this bow in the ground, it's going to have its own little legs for it, and I believe you can shoot with that on. It's going to have a bow rope puller hooker you can put to the top or the bottom. So you can pull this bow up so you don't have to hook it around the cam anymore. But very impressed with this TriTech. Came in pretty much right at spec on everything from axle to axle, brace height. Speed was within 10, and the weight was dead nuts, right at 4.5 pounds without the dampener, just as they advertised. So very impressed with that. It comes in 7 color options. We're gonna be carrying them here at Barefoot Archery in Charlotte, 4410 Old Pineville Road. If you're local and you wanna come shoot these Dartons, come on in, come see us. We're gonna have some. We got some trickling in right now. Once we get a full stock of them, we will put them on our website at barefootarchery.com. So if you want us to build your bow for you, you can add it to the cart along with all the other parts and pieces, and we will put that together and ship it directly to your door. Come check us out. Come shoot these DARTON TriTech 31s and the other bows we have in the shop. Until next time, we'll see you on the next video.